Jai Sitaram. Ayodhya Kand, Chapter 12. In the previous section, we saw how King Dasaratha tells Kaikeyi that everything that she wants within this sea-girt earth is all hers, but she should be kinder to Rama, and he is also willing to place his head at her feet. And he's supplicating to her with folded palms, but somehow the other adharma should not touch him because he has already promised to the world that Rama is going to be the king of Ayodhya. And like this, the king is burning with sorrow, dukkha bisantaptam, and then he is wailing, he is vilapantam, and then he falls down unconscious multiple times, achetanam, ghurnamanam, he is agitated, and shokena sam abhiplutam, he is filled with sorrow, and he is looking for ways to cross this ocean of misery, param shokarana vasyashu, and he's praying to his young wife, prarthayantam punaha punaha. But yet, Kaikeyi is filled with anger, raudra vachaha, and she is going to speak. In verse number 39. Yadi datva varau rajan punaha pratyanu dharmikatvam katham vira prithvyam kathayashyasi. Oh, great monarch! Were you present in an assembly of kingly sages like yourself, and someone were to ask you casually, Dasaratha, how did you discharge to Kaikeyi the heavy debt of gratitude for your life saved? Would you, well conversant with the mysteries of duty, reply with a bold confidence? Verse 40. Yada sameta Bhavastvaya Rajarishya Saha Kathayashyanti Dharmagnya Tatra Kim Pratibakshasi. Would you be able to prove to them that you have kept your word to me? Verse 41. Yasyaha prasade jivami ya ch mam abhyapalayat tasyaha kritam maya mithya kaikeya iti vakshasi. Or would you rather say, I owe my life to her who risked hers to save mine. I granted her some boons in the transports of gratitude, but only to please a woman's heart. Of course, I made light of it when the poor fool took it all seriously and asked me to grant them. I laughed in her face and sent her about her business. Verse 42. Kilbisham narendranam karishyasi naradhipa yodatva varam adhyaiva punaranyani bhashase. Well, a nice figure you would cut amongst them, O King of Kings. How dare you grant me boons in the past and seek to perjure yourself now? Now the members of a class do not stand alone. The good or evil that one does raises or drags down the others along with him. The world judges of the class by the individual, and the kings of the world would be eternally shamed in Dasaratha, or so Kaikeyi says. So this is why Kaikeyi is saying that you are supposed to be the king of kings, and you refuse to give me, the person who saved your life, the two simple boons that I had asked for. And how on earth do you consider yourself to be a very dharmic person? Because you granted the boons, and then when I wanted them, you're not granting them to me. So you are the liar. You're not protecting dharma. And she says that because of Dasaratha, all the kings get kilbisham, or the blemish. So Dasharatha's action is a demerit to all the kings, it seems. This is what Kaikeyi is saying. And then she goes on to give a couple of examples of when kings have sacrificed a whole lot to protect dharma. Verse 43. Shaibhya shyena kapotiye swamamsam pakshite dadau alarkaschakshushi datva jagama gatim uttamam. Maybe you have heard that once before a dove threw itself on the protection of your ancestor Sibi to save it from a cruel vulture, and the noble hearted king offered his own flesh to the vulture to feed upon. Again, Alarka, the royal sage, promised a holy Brahmana to grant him his wishes, and the blind suppliant wanted the king to give him his goodly eyes. And Alarka gave them all joyfully and won the bright worlds of the gods. Verse 44. Sagaraha samayam kritvana velam ati vartate samayam ma anritam karshihi purva vrittam anusmaran. Once upon a time, the gods prayed to the regent of the waters, O ocean lord, we would wish that you would keep within limits, and the ocean has faithfully kept its word ever since. Thus your noble ancestors lived out their ideals of duty. Would you seek to forget it? Would you forswear yourself? So thus Kaikeyi gives three different examples. One is that of King Sibi, who cut off his own flesh to protect the dove. The other is King Alarka, who took his own two eyes to give to a blind Brahmana. And the third is the ocean that does not cross its limits at the behest of the gods. And therefore, Kaikeyi says that these three great people were able to fulfill the promise, so why shouldn't you be able to do so? And it is very difficult to chop up one's own body to protect a dove. It is very difficult to remove one's own eyes to fulfill the promise given to a blind Brahmana. It is very difficult for the ocean to be within a particular contained limit, and yet all three of them did so. The ocean continues to do so. And in the first level, it makes sense even to us that Kaikeyi is in fact giving very beautiful examples of people who have put themselves under very stringent conditions and done things more than what others can ever believe to protect their dharma. However, Kaikeyi did not cite any example that was even close to what she is asking of Dasaratha. Number one, she did not cite an example wherein the first person promises the second person that a third person is going to do something for the second person. King Sibi, for example, did not say that another king is going to cut off his flesh and give it to the dove. King Alarka did not say that his son or someone else is going to cut off his eyes and give them to the blind Brahmana. The ocean did not say that someone else is going to stay within the limits and I am just going to do whatever I want. So, in neither three of these examples that Kaikeyi has cited does a particular situation arise which is analogous to what Kaikeyi is asking of Dasaratha and wanting Rama and third person to go off and stay in the dreary woods. So the situations are completely different. There is another difference as well. In the case of Sibi, there was a dove that went and asked for protection. I seek protection. And there was nothing else that King Sibi could give because the vulture was also hungry. The dove had to be protected, and therefore he cut up his own flesh because he had that autonomy only over his own body. So he cut off his own flesh and gave it. In this case, it was to protect a dove. And the blind Brahmana wanted the eyes. So once again, this was a sort of a protection. And the ocean promises not to cross the boundary as a protection to the other devatas as well. So there is a lot of protection that goes ahead. But Kaikeyi is not asking for the boons in that same mood. She is asking for the boons by laying a sword above the head of her old husband, stating that because I saved your life, because you owe me, that you have to fulfill my 2 promises. So there is no protection that is involved. It is not as if Rama was a cruel person. And it is not as if Rama and Kaikeyi did not have a good relationship. We have already seen that Rama loves Kaikeyi very, very much. And therefore, this protection does not exist. That mood is not there in any of the 3 examples that Kaikeyi has given. And now the next difference. The person who asked for the boons did not ask them in such a way that the person's life itself would be in severe danger. Without part of the flesh, a person can still live. We have seen amputees do that. Without eyes, a person can still live. Without crossing the borders, the ocean would still be able to be quite turbulent and whatever it wants to be. But Dasaratha has said that without Rama, he will cease to exist. So Kaikeyi wants something out of Dasaratha that is going to make him lose his own life. And that scenario does not exist in any of these 3 examples. Now, another layer of difference is that none of these participants in these examples, either the dove and King Sibi, or the Brahmana and King Alarka, or the Devatas and the Lord of the Ocean, none of these 3 has the relationship as how Dasaratha and Kaikeyi have. So Dasaratha and Kaikeyi have years and years of history. And they were very sweet with each other. And suddenly Kaikeyi changed. And of course, the shock of Rama going to the forest is also there. But then as we have already seen, Dasaratha is also completely shocked to hear the words of Kaikeyi, that his very sweet, tender princess Kaikeyi is the one who is being so cruel, is the one who is behaving like this. So this history is also not there with the 3 examples. Therefore, Kaikeyi did not give an analogy that properly met the current situation. In the next section, we are going to see how Kaikeyi continues to accuse Dasaratha of being very black-hearted, of being a deceiver. We are getting to see how Kaikeyi's greed has transformed her from a tender, loving queen into a serious, cruel person. She has already talked about how Dasaratha owes her these two boons because she saved his life. So she's expecting that gratitude. And not only that, she wants a monetary benefit for that gratitude. So it all comes down to greed. In the next section, let us continue with what Kaikeyi thinks about Dasaratha's sweet words. Jai Sitaram.